afternoon. Nobody's in here yet, so I'll wait till everybody gets here before we start talking about what's going on. This is where I'm at. Oak Grove, play some disc golf. Wait until everybody gets in. Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you for joining me. I'm just waiting on everybody or whoever's gonna pop in. If you got any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. This is mostly just gonna be a Q&A. Let's see if I can see everything. Yeah, Q&A. Long story short, I'm gonna start doing live performances in the stand-up community. And there's a lot of content. A lot. And I'm pretty excited about it because I really enjoy the live arena. Once again, if you just joining, you got any questions, actually, let me know if you can even hear me when it's in the pocket like this. And then, hello, Travis. Can you hear, how's the sound when it's in this pocket? Because I haven't recorded with it like this, but if it's at all usable, I'll leave it like this. If not, I'll just take it out. Okay, cool. Thank you, AZ Tech. I'll just leave it in this pocket. Try to keep it a little higher maybe. And then we'll go from there. If you got any questions, go ahead and just leave it in the chat and I'll revisit it. But this is just gonna be like a real lax, chill sort of hangout. I just came out here to play a round, maybe 2 rounds, and then while I'm here, just communicate with how much battery I have left on the live event, the upcoming events, and whatever questions anybody else might have. Good. So, once again, okay, thank you. Right on. So yeah, once again, I recently, I'll be hitting the stand-up comedy scenes, circuits fairly regularly. So if you'd like to come out and support, I'll probably put it out where I'll be going, what I'll be doing. These sets are only 5 minutes long for now. This is gonna be the beginning of working up to longer sets coming up in the spring and the summer, hopefully sooner than that. Thanks. Could you even see the throw? I couldn't even tell. But there we go. Yeah, I've always been talking about doing live stuff, but timing is everything. I'm just gonna putt from both of these, and it seems like the right time right now. Things are kind of slowing down in the winter time, and it's looking like it's that time to do that kind of stuff. You can even see that. Right on. Thanks for dropping in. I'll be here. Enjoy the rest of your day. So yeah, subjects are gonna be anything, really. Anything that I've spoken on in the past and in the present on this channel is going to be on the discussion board, and it's pretty exciting. It's gonna be nice to develop something new and get a new form of expression, a new form of art, a new style. Of course, this is gonna be based in humor, but for most people, it's not gonna be that funny. It's not, in the beginning, because it's a performance art. It'll be almost like a book. I'll be breaking down storylines in kind of a book style format. I don't want to repeat myself in these performances, so I will do my best to make sure that everything that I bring to the next performance is going to be new, which is why I'm looking towards making it like a book. But we will see how that all pans out as I'm going, because this is brand new. I haven't really seen anybody do something like this before. The closest that I could imagine comparing something like this to would be moments where George Carlin would go off on politics and religion and the system, and I can't really think of any other stand-up comedians that are out there that have been going hard and being known like that. I'll be starting fresh in a way that, excuse me, the information will and always will be the main point, the main intention. I'm not there really to making people laugh is going to be secondary, but eventually it will be equivalent to top tier stand-up once I do it over and over and over again. Right now, it's just based in content and developing a natural stream, a natural flow, and it will be character based. So this character that I have has something to wear. I'll look a certain way. I won't speak necessarily differently, but it will be more animated, and contrast will be key. So I will be speaking very softly and mixing in with some powerful emotion. And then I'll go from that to storytelling, and what keeps it all together will be the comedic delivery point. So that's kind of the idea. And it's basically, if you can see anything, it's basically what I'm looking for. Yeah, Carlin was Carlin was on it. So this is the next whole baskets over there behind that blue sign. You can even see it. I don't know. I gotta kind of lean the bag if I leave a disc over there. I'm trying to get that gap. Slid up kind of nicely. Try to throw another one. What do you think? Yeah. 'Cap, that's a very stable disc. Let me try it with this fairway. Good. A lot of people take the hyzer or the forehand, so I'll try that too. Practicing a new hold with my fingers. Forehand is not my specialty, but that was also terrible. Worse releases. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's gonna be taking what I can get once I get a few performances under my belt, get some laughs going, get some good storytelling, get a good rhythm, which won't take more than a few times, I'm imagining, if not starting out right off the jump. But that's the exciting part. That's what's fun. Salute, thank you. There's going to be a lot of backlash where I'm starting is not necessarily the most open to this kind of information location. Oh, shit. Left my disc over there. That's the problem with putting the disc under the bag. So yeah, it's not necessarily the most open, very closed-minded, very, how should I say, America. I'll just leave it at that. Very Trump. And that's also part of the motivation, not necessarily the motivation, but how this is going to work really well, because from what I've noticed in these scenes, especially recently after he's just gotten nominated or elected, is that people they are on one, man. They really got into this idea that they can say and do whatever the fuck they want because the person in charge just says and does whatever the fuck he wants. And there's no accountability. And part of my set is going to be the toxicity that's within, but with intent. That's within the stand-up algorithm. It's designed to be that way. It's designed to have the status quo be maintained and not held accountable. So what I've been saying is that the stand-up comedy community is a place where so-called white people can go to maintain the narrative, maintain the narrative and maintain just the status quo and how what is being spoken about is spoken about without any kind of accountability. There's no responsibility there. They can say whatever the fuck they want, and at the end of the day or at the end of their set, they can just say, well, it's just comedy, guys. Come on, it's just us laughing around, shooting the shit. And at the end, and during that, you're thinking like, yeah, but you also said that shit, and that shit had to come from somewhere. Your friends have been talking about this. This has some kind of truth somewhere. So if you can talk about that, well, I can talk about how I see things. And a lot of people are not going to like that. But I will. It will be very fun and exciting for me, which is the whole point. If I laugh, that's all that matters. I'm not there. I don't want anything from the people in the audience. In fact, I'm not the one on the stage. They're the ones on the stage. Which is where the freedom comes from to pretty much speak about whatever I want without having the expectation of, oh, this is funny. He's a funny comedian. I don't give a fuck about what these people think. Now, given that I'm in a comedic environment, I will modify, which is the whole point, modify the performance to be comedic. But starting off, I got to figure out what that is. And this is also based in the reality of which I can speak on certain subjects in certain areas, and that shit would be fucking hilarious. But if you go to a different crowd in a different location, let's say if I go to Oakland and perform, funny as fuck. Go to Texas or go down the street, go to Walnut Creek or something. People take offense to it. That's not my problem. Because, hey, it's just comedy, We're just out here having a good time. I know I lost another one. And why should I have to adjust what I think is funny to sometimes simpleton-minded type people who not only don't really know what funny is, because stand-up comedy it's a big performance, but also like in the crowd. But also a lot of these people are fucking dumb. Like, why should I have to adjust what I'm doing based upon the intelligence level of the people who are watching? Unless I want something from them, and I don't. I don't want their laughter. I don't want their approval. I don't want none of that shit. All I want to do is figure out how to turn this information into a solid performance that I can do anywhere at any time and be good at it. And once I thought about that, I was like, you know, this is not gonna be that difficult. I just have to do it. So that's what I'll do. And yeah, it will be difficult, but it'll be worth it. Because I would love to see somebody talk about this information as I will be. Because that sounds exciting, it sounds fun, it sounds informative, it sounds like something I would enjoy. If I would enjoy it, then somebody else would enjoy it. It's right under the basket. Cool. That one too. Shouldn't have to do too much. Get through here real quick. So yeah, this will be my spring and winter and spring challenge. How about that? To work my way into the stand-up comedy world and eventually be one of the top 10 comedians in California. But beyond that, be sharing some pretty amazing information that is very beneficial to a lot of people. Everything's gonna be on there. Flat earth shit, clowning on people, politics, religion, education, every single thing that is important. This is not as close. All right. Everything that I speak about on the channel, just in a lifestyle. Also, to really hold a lot of these stand-up comedians accountable for just being fucking terrible, because the audacity and the level of which these people think that they're funny is rude, to put it lightly. It's fucking rude and disrespectful to real comedians. The stand-up comedy circuit is fucking terrible. It's just, I mean, that's mostly because people overall in that mainstream algorithm mindset are fucking terrible and dumb. And when they go out to stand-up comedy type events, it forces the comedians to stoop down to the level of their audience. I will do no such thing. In fact, I will blow that level out of the water and do my best to push that level as far as I can go. Because like I said, I don't give a fuck about what these people think, whether they laugh or not. I'm doing a character piece. It will be my own. The information will come out as I see fit. And if more people did something like that, then a lot more people will be aware of a lot of information. And if stand-up comedians were held to a higher standard, then maybe comedy will get better. But right now, it's being carried by these bought and paid off boule ass stand-up comedians, and the rest of it is being sold to the world and limited through limited mindsets by these content creators, these online idiots. Somebody said, "Are you going to quit being outright racist? It's okay to have jokes about race, but when they're jokes." I cannot be racist. First of all, the content will be heavily race-based. Just in case you're wondering, it will be kind of like the oil, the oil to keep the engine running. Why? Because that's what the stand-up comedy scene has shown me is their main dish to serve to the world. Not only that, is it's very much important to speak on these issues in a way that I don't really see being done. So if I do it, then I'll make it good. It's not gonna start off great, but it will get there. And I'm really looking forward to it. When people say, "Are you gonna be racist?" You don't even know, like, the majority of the time, people don't even know what racism is. Asking if an individual is gonna be racist shows your own ignorance and stupidity. One individual can't do anything to an entire race of people. This has to be maintained as the mechanism in order to keep people from actually speaking on these issues. Because when white people talk about racist type shit, then it's just seen as comedy. But the thing that I've seen is that a lot of people, they are okay with you talking about Portuguese people, Filipino people, black people. You could talk about any other race in the world, Italians. You can talk about whatever you want. As soon as you direct your attention towards white people, now you're stepping over the line. And that is the line that I want to burn, completely burn to the ground by exposing it, because it needs to be, in order to break stand-up out of its the clutches of white people tears, white people insecurities, white guilt, mainstream insecurities, so on and so forth. It needs to be broken completely out of that space And it won't get done unless somebody actually does it. But right now, people are too scared shitless. First of all, public speaking is one of the hardest things to do in the whole world. So people are scared shitless to even do that, let alone go on in front of people and offend them. That's two of the scariest fucking things you could ever do. But I'm okay with both of those because I've been doing it for a while. And it's something that needs to be done. So if race content is going to be a part of that, is what needs to be a part of it in order to deal with this situation, then that's what it'll be, and that's what I'll be doing. It's never, Alexa, thank you. It's never been like that with white people. White people jokes have been accepted for a long time. So, yeah, okay, you're still not really seeing what I'm saying. It's accepted for white people. What I'm saying is that it's an accepted thing. You're not looking forward to it, but you're okay with it. It's part of the community for white people to speak. What's that term? Carte blanche, or I don't know what the term is, but they can say whatever the fuck they want about any other race. But as soon as you direct your attention towards them, not saying that it doesn't happen, what I'm saying is that it's not universally expected as okay, because it hits a certain point. Once you hit that point, people are like, it's okay. And since they control the narrative and the dialogue, they'll start to attack you in a way that makes you divert your attention away from them and put it back on where it's supposed to be, which is the rest of the world. And this comes along with the maintenance of racism, white supremacy around the world. They put themselves out there as the butt of the joke only up until a certain point. Yeah, you can talk funny because we talk about people, but when it gets too real for them, that's when you become a problem. And the whole point of controlling the narrative is what is a big point of what I'm attempting to expose and bring to the surface with this and a lot of the other content that I bring out there. Thank you, Jax. Big dog, love your knowledge and perspective. Thank you very much, Jax 2000. Hippocrates Matrix. Damn straight. Thank you. Right on. So any other questions you got, go ahead and put them in the chat. I'm gonna throw this hole real quick. Basket's way the hell down there, just on the other side of that tree. I'm kind of trying to point at it if you can even see it. It's just way the hell out there, regardless. Should be able to see this distance. I'm gonna go through the air a little more. Contrast, dude. Money. Alright. First one was smashed. So yeah, I had been thinking about this since I first started my YouTube channel. In fact, I did a few open mics in the early part of my YouTube channel and throughout here and there. I did one at the Starry Plow in Berkeley, and I really just observed my surroundings. I'll just tell the whole story. I didn't really have anything planned. It was like, all right, well, just get up there and start flowing. I come from Oakland. I come from West Oakland in particular. I went to high school there. I was never in the freestyle rap circles, but it's part of us. It's a thing. It's a part of our community. And you can still be good and real at the same time on freestyle, when you freestyle, but you have to have that in you. Some of us don't have that in us, some of us do. And I do. But like any other craft, you have to work at it. Smash this one. So so Starry Plow, Irish, pub-ish kind of vibes. UC Berkeley right up the street. Very liberal, very all that shit. Very white. Very happy-go-lucky. Oh, we're all in college. We're out to go drink some beers, eat some food, and have a good time while I'm not doing homework, all that bullshit. And it was an open mic, so you had people performing music, stand-up, all kinds of stuff. So it was completely open. It was not necessarily just like only stand-up. It was anything. So I felt even more comfortable performing there than just a stand-up open mic, because you literally could do and say whatever you want. So my intention was to go up there and just pretty much do a whole YouTube video and then see what happens, because at that time especially, a lot of my videos were freestyle. Like I got a few subjects in mind. I'll start with an idea and then I'll work my way to wherever it's gonna go. Throw this hole. And I got up there. Let me throw this real quick and then I'll start walking. So yeah, I went up there. This place, hella funny. They got like a Haile Selassie quote on the wall behind the stage. They got a big ass picture of Che Guevara on the wall to the left, in an Irish pub and a bunch of other shit. This is what white people do in order to look a certain way. It's like, don't hurt me, I'm one of the good ones. And that shit is fucking annoying. And it's not really dealing with the issues that we're bringing to the surface. So that's what kind of got under my skin at the time. So this basket, you can't even see it. It's just way the fuck in them trees over there on the other side of them trees. So it just kind of got to me, and I decided to speak on the whole usage of Che Guevara as a prop. Oh, this is supposed to represent us. I was gonna miss that. One more. So yeah, I basically just started talking about that. How I was feeling. How nothing is real because everything is just a fucking joke to so-called white people. And if it's not a joke, then it makes them uncomfortable, and since they control the narrative, you really you're painted into a corner. You can't say anything, you can't do anything, you can't be passionate about anything. You always have to subscribe to their belief systems, or at least cater to them. And you always have to be cognizant. You always have that look over your shoulder. You always have that feeling of, don't say this, don't do this. Why? And that why is at the core of pretty much my whole stand-up thing. Because why? And that why is not a little why. That why is huge, and it's really adding to a lot of the problems that we're dealing with on a regular basis. So let me throw this up there. It's the basket, it's the disc. Try to lean this a little bit. Let's see it. Try to throw it in. Try one more, just for shits and giggles. So yeah, that's basically the motivation, or at least not all the motivation, but some of the motivation to this work, this expansion of what I've already done. So taking my YouTube channel and shrinking it down to 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Once I start getting some rhythm behind it. There's a comedy club in Oakland, which is kind of what I'm setting my sights on, because they have return guests and so on. But in order to even be considered to perform in that space, they need to see you performing on video in front of a crowd of people, because they need to protect their investment. That makes sense. But you can't even do that unless you submit something to them. So this will be the start to that. All right, well, if that's what you require, then I'll figure it out. Since Oakland is my hometown, then I'll go there first. Oh, hold on to that one. Kind of hard with this phone in hand. So yeah, any subjects that people would like to see on a stand-up stage, leave them in the comment, or leave them in the live chat, and I'll see if I can tie it in. Sacramento, for those who don't know, I'm in California, so Sacramento has a fairly large stand-up community. That's where Cat Williams said he really started to cut his teeth, until he went to Oakland to find out what he was really about, if he was really funny. But I actually went up to Sacramento just on a whim, on an open mic night, and I did 5 minutes there, but like all of these, they're gonna be crowd work. So in that crowd work, I just really got on the stage and asked everybody. I was like, come on, everybody, let me know some of your craziest conspiracy theories. And that automatically made people feel weird. but it was fun for me at least. And yeah, people didn't say too much. They didn't. A lot of people in regular circles like that, they don't really know too much crazy shit. So it's kind of little stuff. But one guy finally yelled out, "The Holocaust wasn't real," or some shit like that. And I was like, "Yeah, good one." And there was like a gasp in the whole room, and that just, you know, which was hella funny. But the MC for that night came on the stage later and was like, "Oh yeah, I guess here at the," I was like, Snap or some whatever kind of comedy club. "I guess here at the Snap Comedy Club, we're all Holocaust deniers." So as much as they want to act like they're not political and you could say whatever you want, it's fucking bullshit. It's bullshit, and I'm gonna expose it, because if that's the case, then that means that they only want to make you believe that you could say anything you want, because it gives them the opportunity to really say whatever they want. But as soon as you say whatever you want, the rules are no longer applied to you. Like you can't say that. You can say whatever you want, but you can't say that. And this is a perfect opportunity to expose the narrative controllers who maintain that atmosphere of fucking bullshit. So yeah, sometimes they do take certain things personally. Yeah, they do. That's not my problem. Especially with these Trump things these days. They're just so empowered. I'm gonna say whatever I want. All right, well, you will also be held accountable to some degree for what you are presenting. I've already shared. This is all public information. It's all free out here. I don't want anything from anybody, which is why I can say whatever I want. I'm not afraid of anybody, so fuck you. I'm not. Maybe a putt. It's not necessarily what I want. I'm trying to roll it. I lost my other roller disc like this the other day. This is a new one, so it'll be a little harder, but not too bad, but lost a lot of power on the dismount. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've really gotten into as far as live performances. I've done some things, little things, but nothing on like an atmosphere, an environment that is like a stand-up or open mic setting. I did some stuff in Arizona when I was up there. I talked about I talked about indigenous truth, basically, in the New Age community, who pride themselves in being so progressive and so aware of the world and all this shit. But as soon as you start talking about the land and the relationship to the land and indigenous people and the truth of the European conquest around the whole world, that's when it gets a little iffy for people. And they don't really want to hear it. And that's not really my problem. It's an issue. It's an issue. It creates problems. But it's actually not my problem. Probably let this go maybe for an hour. So if you have any questions, I know some people are trickling in and out, but if you have any questions or anything you want to bring up in the live chat, go ahead and do that. Got about 9 minutes. I'll probably cut this at an hour. I mean, unless people really want to just hang out for the whole round. If you want that, and you can let me know, and I'll just keep it running because there's no reason for me to stop. It's just some of the dialogue is going to be shortened down a little bit because pretty much went over everything that I wanted to break or share and let people know this is what's going on. So yeah, 52, 8 minutes. Throw a few more holes. And then try this roller again. Basket's way the hell down there to the right. Ooh, get up. Still gonna be okay. If I didn't hit that second buck, that would have been pretty good. Feeling pretty good today. Get some good snap. So yeah. People in. Anybody in California in the chat? I mean, you don't really have to expose yourself. I mean, best case scenario, and I don't see it being any other way than that, is I start here pretty quick in California, get the ball rolling, and then I'll start hitting up a lot of other surrounding states and even beyond that, which will be pretty exciting. I like traveling. I like doing stuff like that. I got the hell. Hit that one pretty good. This is the basket over there. This is my roller, the first one. My other one was hit pretty good. Only thing with that one is they got a pretty not great color. There it is. That's good. It's hard to get this far on this hole. So let's take advantage of it. Let's see. Guess the drive is on today and the putter's off. Sometimes it's the other way around. I'll take it though. Beautiful day out here. This is disc golf for people who've never heard of it. Pretty deep passion of mine. I come from baseball background and basketball background, softball, and I wish I had really gotten into this early on, but the courses and the people who play are not really around us who grew up in the city. So I didn't even know about this sport until 5 years ago. And I was kind of pissed about that. But I started teaching clinics and doing all kinds of shit in the sport, mostly because I want to get people involved in it. Christopher of Globe Crusher, hey, how you doing? Because it's very low impact, very, very healthy. You can play by yourself or you can play with people. It's your choice. And the community is pretty good. Like it's a good community on average. So if you are looking for something to get into that's more athletic based, then check out disc golf, because it's not easy, but once you start playing, it's easy to pick up, and then it becomes easy. So there's a learning curve that's pretty quick if you're really about it. And I would honestly recommend it to anybody, kids all the way up to senior citizens. Right on, Christopher. Thank you for the support. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll just put it down. This one. A little bit, but overall, not great. I really want to get this out there. It's all right. Keep it low out here. That I would come to when I was on my vow of silence for the year. I'd be out here as much as I could because there's not that many people out here. It's beautiful. But like I said before, you can play on your own. And if there's people out, you can play with people. And playing is a form of communication. I was still alive on my vow of silence, but not speaking is hard as hell. And you need to kind of somewhat communicate. So, this is my first one. I'm trying to get this one. Still there. See if I can throw this one. So it's about an hour right now. Oh shit. If anybody's got anything they would like a Q&A, I can turn this into a Q&A and keep going, or I can shut it down. So I'll leave it open for the next few minutes for people to gather questions or whatever, and after that I'll call it. It's crazy how an hour goes by so quickly. For those who joined, stayed in, and who support the channel, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. This is not an easy thing. Not an easy thing to do. All of it, actually. You're like, what are you talking about? What's not easy? All of it. Damn, I left another damn disc. So, see one question. I'll get to it right now. I'm gonna wait for some more. I gotta find this dish real quick though. I got it. All right. I'd like to hear more about your vow of silence. You touched on the effects and the experiences in other videos, but I know there's loads more. Thanks. All right, William. Thank you for the question. What in particular would you like to know? Other than how it's changed me. Because if you're not speaking for a whole year, you will be changed. Slows everything down. Your relationship with the world gets thicker. It gets more sensitive. You have more patience, more tolerance. You listen more. You want to listen more. In some cases, let me get away from this road. You can be, since you're more sensitive to the world and just overall communication overall, you gain patience in some degree, but you can kind of lose patience in the sense that your relationship with time is so much more important that you don't want to waste it on anything. So people who waste your time, it's just done. You don't have time for that. I'll add more. Let me get away from the road. I'll throw this hole and then get away from the road. So yeah, your sensitivities, or at least my sensitivities to the whole world just peaked. Kind of feel invincible in that a lot of people's problems are internal. Most of them, all of them are. So if you take a year to not have to defend yourself with words, to not have to respond to the expectation of other people. It changes your relationship with the world. People are either going to get closer to you or farther away. And that's a good thing. You want to know about people anyway. You want to know if people should be close to you or not. You can have people that are friends with you, but they're not necessarily close for good reasons. Boom. So yeah, they're not close for good reasons. And it clears out a lot of energy vampires. There's another disc over here somewhere. It clears out a lot of energy vampires, and that a lot of the reasons why some of these people are around you is because they get something from you. And a lot of the ways that people get something from people is through communication. So a lot of the undercover manipulation that goes on that we just take for granted, it kind of just goes to the wayside because people are like, they're baiting hooks for you. And as soon as you take that bait, they got you. But if you're not speaking, then you just leave it all up to them. And the people who are going to be around you are there because they're supposed to be. And if they're not supposed to be, then they'll go away. So that's what I experienced, is that it was a lot of clearing out of the bullshit, both personally, internally, and communally, the people around me. Yeah, I suppose long-term effects once you go back to speaking. I've been drawn to the experience myself. And I'm 3 weeks in, wow. Nice. That, yeah, the first few weeks are the hardest because your brain is so used to responding. And as I said in the previous video, right after I started speaking again, is that we take for granted how long, or all the mechanisms that go into speaking. Your thought is involved. So when you got thought involved, then you're having to think about what to say, what not to say, everything around you. Will this be offensive? All that is happening in a split second. And when you're not speaking, you can actually see all that shit happening because you're not really, you're not using it, but it's still happening. So you can observe it in a way that you weren't able to do before. And to see that changes you because now you're aware of something that's happening. And when you see that, then you can turn down, you can use that energy more effectively. Yeah, so the first 3-4 weeks, for me, the hardest thing was stopping myself from needing to say something, mostly because people are also having to adjust around you. So they're still talking to you as if you speak, as if you're going to respond. So also you don't want to make people feel bad or something because there's a lot of projection. Oh, you're doing this because of me or all this other shit. And then you're gonna get hit hard with a lot of shit. And once you start, it takes about a month to let that go. It takes about a whole ass month to get into the groove of, okay, this is, your brain starts to adjust. And that's a long ass time, but it's worth it, because when your brain adjusts to that, and when you do it even longer, that's what changes you. Your whole rhythm changes. Your voice changes. Everything about you changes. And it's for the better. And like I said, it is difficult, but after that, you kind of feel like a superhero, because each step that you take, your feet, everything changes. Like I said, when I started to speak again, when I first started speaking, the first words that I said, I could feel the vibration of my voice in my toes, in my skeleton. Your voice vibrates your entire skeletal system. And that's like playing an instrument. So if the words that you are using are playing your antenna like a musical instrument. So the energies of that are very important. And once you start to calibrate them as such, you start to activate things that weren't there. They weren't there before. You start to have a relationship with yourself that you didn't have before. You start to feel things that you didn't feel before. You start to see things you didn't see before. You can hear things you never heard before. Listening to yourself, listening to other people. The silence is louder. The silence feels better. I mean, every single thing in my life changed for the better. That's including relationships that might not seem to have changed for the better with other people. But if they got worse during that time, they needed to get worse to keep distance from those people. So that's better. And other people, from their perspective, they might see it as, oh, whatever, it affected us. That's not my problem. So yeah, one of the big things that I would have never noticed unless I had done that was waking up that first day and hearing my voice and feeling my voice and just thinking, oh my God, it's just like, you're almost like chills feel, because it's like getting goosebumps on your whole body, because what you say and how you say it is so much more powerful than what we give credit to. It means more in the vibratory world and all that shit. And you can feel it more when you do something like that. Let me throw this over real quick. Any more questions? Go ahead and put them in. I'll check it out again. Nice. I'll give me a nice little putt. That disc getting a little more, it's more stable. So yeah, let's see. The ones we seek run, but the ones that chase us when we run. Just watching. Pretty deep. Thank you, Nora, for the support. Thank you. It's not that cold right now. It's actually probably 60 something. which is cold for out here, which is usually 100 and something, in the high 90s at least. But it's not bad at all. Just a little cold, enough to give you a little sniffle. It's kind of perfect for disc golf because you don't want it to be too hot, and you don't want it to be too cold because your fingers are all involved, and it's just a lot easier in fair weather conditions. And a lot of my friends are fair weather players like me. Nice little bird on this one. It's not an easy one to get if you don't throw forehand too much. See what else with my vow of silence. Other than that, what I learned from people, like, people expose themselves very easily, and it's easy to see people a lot more when you don't say anything, because you're not engaging in their world. And when you don't engage, they can't hide under the responses that they have to you. So when people use language and communication to hide, a lot of the times their insecurities, they're hiding. So that's another thing. You can defend yourself also when you speak. So this is another thing that happens, is that when you're not speaking or choosing not to speak, you're choosing not to have a weapon that everybody else has. And that weapon is very powerful, and that energy will hit you pretty hard, and it's something to get used to. My case is a little bit different because I was engaging. I was out in the world. I was out in the public, and I was playing disc golf. So for the most part, I was around a lot of people. So it was a little bit more difficult, I would say. Easier in other ways, because I did have a way to express myself in playing disc golf and being around people. But when you're around people, you're around people. That you're around their shit. Everybody has their shit. And if they are around you and you're not saying anything, then other people's shit gets brighter and louder. And also, if their shit involves other people and you have no defenses up, they will take advantage of that, especially if they feel insecure in some ways about you. So I'm a fairly good disc golfer, so my playing makes some people insecure. So I was just talking about this the other day. One of the guys, cool guy, but very competitive, and when we were playing, there's like a rule in disc golf that you don't want to play mind games. You don't want to fuck with people. It's just not cool, because you want to see people do well. You want people to focus and be. You want to beat people at their best. You don't want to beat people on some cheap shit. I don't want to win a tournament on some cheap shit. I don't want to beat somebody in a match on some bogus shit. I want them to bring their best, and I bring my best, and then I just beat their ass. That's the best kind of win. But when you have cheap shit like talking shit or trying to get in your head, then that's when it can be a little discouraging to play with certain people. I didn't give a fuck at the same time, because my patience was through the roof when I was on my silence. So, but some people I can understand, they have difficulty with it. But this individual took it upon himself to play mind games with me even more so. He's not the only one. Other people did it. When I was silent because I couldn't, strictly because I couldn't respond. I could not respond. And this shit is people, some people be like, well, why are you around people like that? And sometimes you can't help it when you're in a disc golf community, but at the same time, there's people like this that those kind of actions are benign. They're not really, there's not, and it helps your mind game to get stronger if you can deal with shit like that. So it wasn't really a big deal. For some people it is, but that's another thing that happened on the vow of silence, was that other people's shit will come to the surface hardcore, whether it's because they see themselves a lot more, because you're not distracting them with busy talk, elevator talk, garbage, and other people who have to project themselves to look bigger when you don't have your defenses up because you're not communicating or speaking. Then they will project even harder. And that's something that you can get used to too, or will have to, or not. So cage man, yeah. I can feel certain things dissolving. A friend basically shunned me who before seemed so bubbly and loving. She talks a lot though. Yeah, you're gonna see some shit you hadn't seen before from people, because a lot of times they don't know what to do. I have felt complex shaped emotions full of different colors. Basically, though I just feel so tired of the speech, like it's not genuine or coming from the right place. Yeah, and then that gets easier too. Like the feelings of tolerance goes through the roof with patience. Tolerance in the sense of like hands off. That your relationship with time affects your relationship with the people when you're not speaking. That time means more. The energy that you put into your emotions and how you see other people and how you interact with other people affects your time. Kind of like looking at a clock and not looking at a clock, or time flies when you have fun. Time goes hella slow when you're at work, staring at a clock. Like that the same thing goes for when you are thinking and interacting with people and about people. The less you have attached to that, the easier it will be. The lighter you are. And when you're on a vow of silence, it that just gets brighter and brighter. So it's easier to let go. Sum it up. Most of nowadays conversations with people are shallow with no meaning. Very true. That was a big perk to being on a vow of silence, because at that time I was also surrounded by people, and the majority of people are in that kind of sphere. They're in that scope of busy talk for the sake of talking. And when you on a vow of silence, you don't have to say shit. I'm just sitting there like, oh, laughing. I can laugh without sound to myself. I'll smile. Yeah, all that. That was such a relief to know, or when you're around other people, to know that, hey, they know I'm not speaking, so they know not to bring some old bullshit over here. And they also know that if this conversation is happening over there, I'm not a part of it. Another good thing is you people, since their defenses are down around you, they don't feel threatened by you because you can't speak back. people get more loose with their communication. So they start talking all kinds of crazy shit you ain't never heard them say before. And if you were speaking, they wouldn't even think they would never fucking say some shit like that. And if they did, they'd be held accountable in that moment. But that's another thing that can like help your zen too, is like, all right, well, they said that dumb shit. I can't say anything. I mean, I could, write something on my phone, which had to happen a couple of times where I'm like, all right, this is out of line. So I'd write something real quick, show it to them, and then walk away. And then they just have to sit there and deal with that. And sometimes I would respond after that, sometimes I wouldn't. Ultimately, I didn't give a fuck. But if you step over the line, but the line gets longer. So your line sometimes eventually becomes irrelevant. Because it's just like, all right, who gives a fuck about this line? It's just, yeah. So anyway. Yeah, Sean. I was wondering how you supported yourself like work, because that is a difficult thing. Yes, very lucky that my job allows it. At that time, I was very mindful of that in choosing to go on a vow of silence, because you got to survive. But at that time, I was living with my parents and just being with the family. And my main thing was to be around them and support them as much as I could. I wasn't getting paid by them, but I get paid little bits from like disability, but that's just enough to like maintain basic nothing. So I was lucky that I was living with family and had a little trickle of money coming through to where I could somewhat support myself. So I really just had to like be out of the way. And once I stepped out of that and started getting back into the grind, that's a different story. But at that time, it was from the help of my family that kind of helped that go. Because people want attention and focus. And yeah. Everybody on the course, it's a weekday. What is it, Tuesday? Monday? I think it's Monday. I guess people are at work. Not too many. And again, this is out in Stockton, and it's out in the valley, so it's not like in a heavily populated area. This is more people come to this course on the weekends, or during their doubles or singles events, or they do like a NorCal team challenge at this actual course, where this is packed with disc golfers. But right now, you can catch these quiet times and be out here and nobody's out here, which is lucky for me. It's so stressful to always have to respond. Yeah, the constant body reaction and voice reaction when locked into conversation. Yeah, like I said, that was the hardest thing to get over in the beginning, but it does get a lot easier. And that's when I was saying that once you do get over that, because it's like your brain is wired to do that. Somebody says something, boom, your brain is already responding. So you have to catch that click in that middle of time, little bit of time in between that click and that click being transferred to your voice box to say it. You turn all those mechanisms off, but you have to turn them off one by one. And it takes time to turn them off, because you've been doing that your whole life. You've been wired to, somebody says something, oh, what was that? Okay, you help? Yeah, whatever it is, like you're wired, emergencies, all kinds of shit. this is how you interact in the world. And you're having to turn something off that started when you first learned how to speak and communicate in this whole fucking realm. You Communication is how you interact with this realm. So to turn part of that off, turn the voice off, that's some heavy ass shit. And when you do that, it's hard for a reason. You will get something back from it, which is what I knew going into it, which is what led me to carry on through it and keep going. Because there were times only in the beginning that I wanted to stop, like the very beginning, like the first few weeks, because I didn't realize that that mechanism was going to turn off. And then after like 3 weeks, I started to feel the lightening up, and then I started to feel the changing of my brain and my mind and the slowing down of everything, and I started to get used to it, and I started to have fun with it. So then that's when I was just like, okay, well, let me just ride this out. And then it just became a part of me. I walked out of the house, I felt like I was I felt like I had a shield of armor on me that nobody could fuck with, because I could interact with the whole world just like everybody else without having to use my voice and be normal. And that felt like a damn superpower, because like I said, your voice is it's your weapon, it's your defenses, it's your way of you feel like insecure about going anywhere. How'd you go to the store? How'd you do this? You just have to wait. You just have to take your time and be patient. People they're gonna get it when they get it. When they get it, that if it takes 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, hey, I'll be here. I'm not going anywhere. We'll get through this. And that's a lot of the time, the tolerance and the patience to be able to do that. That changes you too. Yeah, the body. Okay, so there's a wall that gets bigger and bigger between the impulse to speak. Yeah. Do you feel the need to be silent again, now or in the future, or is it done for you? I am not against it at all. I don't feel a need to do it. If I do it again, it's because I want to. Because I loved the way it felt. I loved it. I really enjoyed the person I was. I was a lot softer. Because who I am with my voice is a lot different. Like, I'm an outward spoken person. That's who I am. My voice is very much one of my biggest weapons. So turning that off really softened up my world and the people around me, and I really enjoyed that experience. But it's kind of like running a full marathon, which I did. I ran the Honolulu Marathon. I did it once. I don't think I need to do it again. I don't feel like the desire or the need to do it again. I accomplished that goal. I got what I needed from it, and then that was it. I'm good. But that doesn't mean that I'm very much open to doing it again for like 2 weeks, a month, 3 months. Like, I'd be down for something like that. But again, I'd have to be in the right setting. Again, because it's so healthy. It's so everything is just positive with it. Greetings. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's done for me, but I wouldn't say that I'm like looking to do it again, but I'm not closed to doing it again. Yeah, you're gonna love it. However, how long are you planning to do? Are you planning to do a whole year? I mean, why not just do it forever? I thought about that, about just staying silent forever, but I like the color of voices and communication through the voice. I like how, like what could be said. I like the paint of being able to voice something, either when you think about it or when it's just right off the top of your head. I like the efficiency of being able to speak. Again, my voice is also like part of me, not necessarily just as a weapon, but as it's almost just like kind of playing disc golf. I love playing disc golf. I could stop playing forever, but I don't want to. I like speaking. I like playing disc golf. I don't see the need to yet. I'm not saying there isn't a need there. What I'm saying is that as of now, nothing presents itself to be for that to be needed. And there's so much more color to being able to communicate through your voice. To where as of now, I would just, I like it. So, and I would say that I do like it more than being silent, but barely. But that barely more is very important. Because it's a part of growth in a lot of ways, and my work it involves growth and helping people grow and learn. So if I could use my voice to help people do that, then I will. For example, teaching a disc golf clinic to kids in elementary school or junior high school, which I've done. It's a lot easier to do it when you can use your voice. I wouldn't be able to do that and accomplish something like that as efficiently if I wasn't using my voice. So there's one good example, and there's other examples that are on the same level as that. People will get defensive even if you tell them you don't have social media to chat. Exactly. Yeah, I don't have Facebook, so people don't like that. They'll feel a certain way about themselves through feeling a certain way about you. It's like thinking that you're projecting something onto them just because you're not involved in something that they're involved in. All that shit, I'm not saying none of that. All that shit exists in their heads. Just by me not engaging in that world. Same thing happens when you don't speak. Low power mode. I'm getting ready to get off here in a second because my battery just took a shit. So yeah, any more questions, throw them in real quick. My battery's going down. I'll get these real quick. They see you as a weirdo if you tell them I don't have TikTok. Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't. I don't give a shit. People, you can think whatever you want. A year, maybe more if I do the year, but a year is a good start. Hey, man, more power to you. Congratulations on that, because fuck that. Yeah, good on you. At this time, I feel I have more to offer the world not speaking. I can see that. I feel that. That's what was motivating me at that time. I was like, especially me having already put over hundreds and hundreds, over 1,000 videos on YouTube. I mean, what more could I say? I've said so much. It's not saying that I've said everything, only saying that you said a lot. If people want to hear what you have to say, then they can reference that, or they can speak directly to you and find out. But not much is needed to be said. So yeah, good luck. At this time, I feel yeah. Have you got BitChute or Rumble channel? I do have a Rumble channel. I am uploading all the new mixtape channel because YouTube has focused on the mixtapes as a way to hit my channel with hella strikes and warnings and video takedowns. So it's kind of like work for nothing. When I make a video, I put it up on YouTube. Less than 2 weeks later, it's taken down. Also, the algorithm on YouTube is that when I upload something, they take down 1.4 or 5, like 1.5 videos on average. They'll take down within like hours sometimes. So and I've seen if I don't upload anything, then they won't take anything down. Not saying they won't take anything down, but they don't take down as much. Not that that's stopping me, only on their platform. I will be uploading more in the future on YouTube, but right now I'm waiting on these strikes to fall off, and I'm gonna make some content. I don't like dancing around algorithms at all, but like I said, I am uploading this stuff that's not danced at all. I don't have I'm not taking anything out. It's all on Rumble, all the vaccine shit, all the shit that hits all the algorithms. Fuck them. It's all on Rumble, the mixtapes, and some of the other non-controversial information that I share, videos. I'll upload them here and there. Some like this stuff I'll upload on YouTube. But as far as the stuff that I really want to put out there, I'm just kind of going with Rumble for now. My voice speaks exactly what I want to say or can describe. And through conversation, I communicate through writing, music, and my actions. Right on. Thank you for sharing that. Good to see you, bro. You're loved and appreciated. Thank you, Manny, as one. I appreciate that. This has helped a lot. Thanks again. You're very welcome, and yeah, good luck with that vow of silence, because that's heavy. And I mean, if you want to keep in communication with me on the comments on videos, or you can email me or whatever. You got questions, or I'll definitely be making myself available for that if you'd like. Right on, Manny is one. Respect. I've seen you. I see that. I appreciate that support. If I had to rely solely on my parents without having God, I'd be completely lost. Yeah, if you could, if you like sharing the Rumble video, if you shared the YouTube videos, they're on Rumble, they're just as easy to share. But like if I upload a lot of those videos on YouTube that I put on Rumble, they're just immediately taken down. And if they don't take that down, they'll take something else down. Thank you. God bless. God bless. I appreciate that. Yes. All right, on. All right, so I'm going to shut this down so I can get my battery fixed and finish on with the rest of this round. Thank you for the support. Thank you for hanging out. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.